Hey y'all. Hey, it's Thursday and I'm here. So it's live. I ain't gonna go. How y'all doing? How you doing? It is Thursday live. We living and I'm gonna talk to you about some things. If you'll allow me. If you got a little time to spare, I got a little time to spare. I see the usual suspects has fallen in at the usual time. Um, Hello there, grand madam. Hi, I like the hair. Have you got your action figure yet? It's supposed to be arriving either I think this week or next. Um, Holler at me. Let me know when you get it, or post a picture, or something. Hey, what's up, Groovy? What's going on? Always a pleasure to have you in the building, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up for the pull up. Rock with me, nation, up in here. I see y'all trickling in slowly but surely. I say what up to you as you make it to the center stage, as they say. We're gonna talk tonight. We're gonna talk tonight about some things. Some things are along the lines of imagination and fantasy, and other things might be incredibly real. Tell a friend, tell two. Make sure y'all all slide through. Mr. Ray Smith in the building on center stage. What's going on, Mr. Ray Smith? In the building. Knowledge being kicked whenever he is here, as well as Grand Madam. So, y'all want to heed them comments because they dropping knowledge based on experience. Something a lot of people don't take into consideration these days. Merit does have merit to a certain degree. I ain't gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? Because the biggest example I can give is in the military with a warrant officer and a fresh out of college officer. You know what I'm saying? Warrant officer done did it. He done earned it already. So you ain't got nothing to say to him about what he doing and how he doing it. Because he probably done did something you ain't even learned how to do yet. No things you probably ain't never going to learn. That sort of a thing. That's what wisdom and experience get you. Wisdom and experience, when you show that you have acquired it. Because a lot of people have knowledge, but they don't apply that knowledge to manifest wisdom, so to speak. I don't know how I got in this situation, but my fellow shell back, Mr. Ray Smith, he said real fast, hey, yeah, man, them warrant officers, man, you try to talk crazy to a warrant officer, you want to, with some of that, fresh out of the academy, I'm going to throw my bars around, boy, you get clowned in a New York minute. I done seen it happen. It was a brother, too. It's what made it so cool. He was here because he didn't have no problem, giving this young West Point, Annapolis fella his come up, and so to speak. What we got on the agenda tonight? We got, and not a whole lot. Some of it is, philosophical. Some of it is semi-political. Some of this might even be off the cuff. I might just spontaneously go hut one, hut two, and do an audible. Well, that would be a legal procedure, but I call it audible before I go hut. You get what I'm getting at. What we talking about out here today? Have you seen the trailer for a fan film Wakanda 3? They use Chad's image with CGI. Seeing it cut me to the quick. You're going to have to send me the link, Grand Madam. Shoot me a link, and I will definitely look at that jump. Or you shoot me a link. I might be able to save it, throw it up in here. that is a capability that I have recently learned that I pay for, and I might as well start utilizing it, since it is a part of what I pay for. SwatKats. We might be getting the SwatKats, but we got to kick in with the Kickstarter. I will pull up all of the necessary, and I will put it in the link here so that y'all can. Do y'all remember SwatKats? Anybody here remember? Because SwatKats, like I think I was grown when SwatKats came out. SwatKats came out in like the mid '90s, I want to say, and it was the whole world. First of all, of SwatKats is a world of anthropomorphic cats. So it's these two cats, T-Bone and Razor, that own this junkyard, but the junkyard cleverly disguises the headquarters of the superhero team known as, well, kind of paramilitary, because they fly around in this really cool jet and they shoot special missiles, and you know what I'm saying. And it was a pretty interesting show. And just like lately we've been getting a lot of comic book based movies and comic book, television shows based on comic books and that kind of a thing. It's nice to see a lot of these older animated features coming back as, in comic book form. They've been tried a couple of times. I know Whitman and Charlton, they had Gold Key, another company, back in I think 60s, 70s, probably even further back than that, used to do comic books, and they would make comic books of the cartoon characters. But it seemed like them stories didn't have any depth. It was just more you just putting images of Mitor or images of Moby Dick in a comic book. Moby Dick. Pause. Oh no, it just, here we go. Let's get to the grown man stuff. We're gonna go ahead and get to we're gonna skip and get to the grown man stuff. But yeah, I want to see that, Grand Madam. So if you could get that to me, I would be ever so grateful. Government shutdown. Okay. Serious question. How does government shutdown affect you? If you depend on funds, goods, services that come directly from the government de federales, you might be concerned. You might be concerned. The rest of us that are state funded, that are independently owned businesses, ain't necessarily worried about government shutdowns. We got our own problems to worry about, but that's one way it affects you. It affects you over time. You know what I'm saying? I had the pleasure of sitting in a live with Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Now, again, let me say, I ain't on nobody's side except what makes sense to me. Now, as a person that I am, or that y'all have known me to be, that you have seen me here out here doing lives and whatnot, do I sound like somebody who will willingly be a part of a cult, or something that denotes cult behavior, or if not cult behavior, very, very tribalist. There's the word, tribalist at the most. Think about it. And do you know this behavior when you see it? What up, Paul Martin? I've been chilling, waiting all day to bounce these ideas off of y'all. Anyway, it was weird listening and reacting to her and hearing her being Jasmine Crockett, saying the things that she was saying. I mean, she was saying it in a most deft and diplomatic way. But essentially, the energy I got off of her was, this the energy I got off of her. The man in charge is an idiot, but he an idiot in position to do terrible, terrible things. And we still got to be stopped. The only thing we can do is what we, are continuing to do right now is just, be active and be aware of what's going on and vote when it's time to vote locally. You know what I'm saying? Find out who they're trying to put into the mix. You know what I mean? For the most part, there's a lot of states that are just done. It ain't a whole lot they can do because blood is ascendant and not water. Wink, wink. See, us poetic people can speak in code too. Yeah. You will know cultist chatter when you hear it. When somebody constantly says to me, so-and-so said, this said, I read something from this person and it said, and it's like, okay, I don't have a problem with you having a very strong opinion about a person or a political view. But when you parade it in my face all the time, because, when the water was in office, the people that were for the blood were really, vocal about it, telling you about it. Oh, well, they did this and they did that, and he's incompetent and he can't even remember and he's always falling down and that type of thing. You was hearing all that, right? And it was okay. They out here calling people monkeys, and they out here telling people, okay, you need to go back home where you're from. They are using this government shutdown. You know what I'm saying? They the ones doing the things in the shadows, and you know what I'm saying? And we getting together and we telling everybody this is what we finna do. And if you don't do this, then when we do get what we want, we gonna remember that you didn't help us. Are those the tactics that are being, exerted on people because they ain't down, quote unquote, with the cult? I thought it was about freedom and democracy. Now people can say things, and now it's like, oh, I'm gonna censor you, and I'm a, you know what I'm saying? And all of this is being healthcare. Freaking healthcare. Thank you, Grand Madam. All this and everything that's going to ensue in the next couple of days is over healthcare. At the end of the day, you can go into all the particulars. You can go into all of the, I think it was because of, and the nuance and this BS and that. Bottom line, I don't want you to have adequate health care. Matter of fact, I'm going to take away the tax credit for it. How do you think we afford health care? So now you take away tax care by making it super unaffordable. Okay, so my question is, do you not understand that puts undue leverage on medical professionals and does things like force them to stop accepting Medicaid-based services from people who otherwise can't afford that? They need this to supplement their medical services? Too bad. The government, we changed it, and that's the end of it. Deal with it. So I can't get adequate health care. Now what's going to happen to me? I get sick and I can't work. Damn, you know what I'm saying? We talking about the average. Oh, Grand Madam, not to mention, in the meantime, $17 trillion missing. But everything's going the way it's supposed to be going. Everything's going, yeah. I have come to accept, and it's just me, I have come to accept there's going to be some degree of corruption and disingenuity. Did I say that right? Disingenuity, dishonesty, lies, in government, in politics. I realize that, but at least make me feel like you trying to keep it a secret. You know, let me suspect in the back of my head that my government is corrupt versus you just sitting right here like, and next, what else we got on the docket today? So you know you are, and you don't care. I mean, what kind of response is that supposed to elicit? Yeah, I wanted to elicit that kind of response so I can dispatch the National Guard on you. Or the police force that I've co-opted because the crime in DC is out of control. I mean, I know there's areas of DC that's dangerous, but out of control to the point where you needed to co-opt the police department as your personal force. Well, long story short, somebody once said, or somebody is responsible for saying, in whole or part, these words: a government shutdown falls on the president's lack of leadership. Problems start from the top and they have to get solved from the top. A shutdown means the president is weak. Those words were spoken in part or whole by the current president of the United States. If the government shuts down, it means the president is weak. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's something, you know what I'm saying? We want other governments to think of us. So what's the remedy to that? Yeah, friend of mine sent me a picture. It was hilarious. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing that in the middle of a live. Anyways, I guess where I'm at this point is we shouldn't be surprised at what's going on, and we need to start hunkering down like we know it's gonna get worse. There. That's it. Save your marbles, buy what you need to feed and protect yourself, and hunker down. I mean, go back and forth how you got to go back and forth, but hunker down. That's my motto for the next. Laptop trying to update. No, you don't get the update yet. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna sit. I'm not, we're gonna do what we do, but yeah, I'm not getting ready to get out in here and overextend myself, and you know what I'm saying, can't pay a mortgage and can't, pay a lease, and you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah. That's what they want, y'all. That's what they want. Don't fall foot. Don't fall foot. Don't fall foot. I think that's about all I want to say on that. I mean, because if I sit here and harp on it, if I sit here and go to town on it, and bring out all of the, you know what, I would just segue into the next part of what I want to do, because this is what I was thinking, because this is the part I feel like is based in reality. Then there's a part of it that's, well, not. And so it's like, what do you do in situations like what we're dealing with right now? I mean, it's real life villainy. You know what I'm saying? Straight up villainy going on right now. I mean, just diabolical. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a lot of things that that I know I wanted to see realized in reality, and a lot of things where I'm like, damn, no, I didn't. This is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Is it because it is, y'all, and it's like, what are we supposed to be doing right now as human beings. You know what I'm saying? It feels almost surreal if I'm being honest. Like what is this? You know what I'm saying? Is this real? And I guess I'm thinking to myself, because I was thinking the other day, and I made a video. I don't know. I'm still thinking about, if I want to put it out there or not. What would Captain America do in a situation like this? I guess a better question. What could Captain America do in a situation? To me, this seems like something beyond that Captain America's expertise to deal with. Not because he couldn't if he had that expertise, but he ain't privy to stuff like Steve Rogers is. You know what I mean? It's like we looking for somebody noble, and everybody we looking for, maybe we shouldn't be looking for. Maybe we should just be looking for us because we enough. You know what I mean? What happens when we stop believing we enough? What we gonna become? I know what I'm gonna become when I stop, or it. Well, I ain't gonna say when. I know what I would become if I ever stopped believing I was enough. I know what I would. I know what I will become. I know exactly what I become, and it would be terrible to behold. Not because I'm this big, bad, tough, this, that, and the other, but because I'm like a shark. And a shark is an apex predator. And a shark doesn't come into a fray contemplating defeat or not getting what it was coming after. Any human being like that is dangerous. And it ain't because of how many black belts or guns they got, but because of up here what they're willing to do and the way they contemplate and doing it. And it's just like I told you, with crime, circumstances, proximity, and opportunity. When you cram people together in an enclosed area like the ghetto, you putting them in a real close proximity. You also provide ne'er-do-wells with the opportunity to take advantage of people in their community. Circumstances, hungry. Circumstances, ain't got no guap. Circumstances, starving like a man. So what is one to do in situations like that? You ain't got no choice. Don't the same thing happen in the trailer park? Proximity, circumstances, opportunity. It be stuff going on over there too. I know that there was a school district, and I didn't call them back because the school district ain't getting no response from me right now. I know it's a recorded message, and they're gonna ask me to spend some money. This the senior year. This ain't the year I spend money. Somebody else got to say you spending your own money, child. I get it if you can't get it, but yeah, for the most part, your money. Anyways, though, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be looking for anybody to come and save us so much as we should be ready to save ourselves. Just like Mr. Smith said here in the Become Nomad. Man without a country. He is a lot more effective. He's a lot more brutal. He can do a lot more. Grant Madam say this is worse than the 60s. It's urban warfare in the making. Bruh. There's some people out here ain't happy. It ain't got up here yet, but I know trends happen late. And if Muggs is coming for oh boy, let me quit. Let me quit. Be inspired by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait for nobody else to inspire you. You feel me? You are enough. Or in the immortal words of my man Sugar Free, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Feel me. Feel me. Feel me. We are 32 minutes into the boom boom. And I wanted to bring up the fact, to my action figure diggers. This is just another example of what patience and perseverance will get you if you live by certain tenets. Now, this is the 12-inch Marvel Legends version of the Super Adaptoid. This is also a version of the Super Adaptoid that did, but didn't exist. There was indeed a 12-foot version of the Super Adaptoid. It did indeed have the abilities of Captain America, Goliath, the Wasp, and who? Hawkeye. Now, we mentioned the Wasp, right? Now, if you take a few moments and you look at the Wasp, isn't one of the qualities of the Super Adaptoid that when he does adapt the form of a being, there is some noticeable physical characteristic, right? So we looking. Okay, what do we see? Okay, just from the height alone compared to your normal, hey Loki, it's a green kind of day compared, so it's about that tall. That would make it about what, 10, 11, Yeah, maybe about 12 feet. So 12 inches, 6 inches. Yeah, half. That sounds about right. Okay. So it has the height of Goliath. If we look at it real close, we can see the chainmail that's on the chest, and of course, obviously the shield. So that's Captain America. Arc reactor, that's Iron Man. Okay. What's this? Hawkeye, right? We'll get back to that. Okay. Then we got a couple. We didn't ask for Thor, but okay. Thank you, Thor. And we just gonna throw that in for craps and giggles. If it has the abilities of all of the Avengers that I just mentioned, so the only physical manifestation of Hawkeye is his mask, we're missing something. Okay. We ain't gonna take that out your hand. And because you mimic the powers of Hawkeye and the visage of Hawkeye, because I see nothing physically other than that hammer that makes the super adaptoid look as though it has taken on the powers of Thor. So if I remove Mjolnir, there is nothing else that says. So now you got a bow. And the only thing I need to do is paint this Joker. And we that's looking a lot more like a super adaptoid than what you was giving us with this. That's more if we going for a comic book look. See what I'm saying? Brother Theo in the building. What's happening, my guy? What's happening? Crazy how similar the Super Adaptoid and Amazo are. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And you know it ain't, Paul Martin. Marvel and DC, they've been biting from each other since the 30s. But anyway, the other little detail for those of us like the Ray Smiths of the world who have read a Tales of Suspense comic book know that the Super Adaptoid in his original appearance with this look had wings. Now, I still got to find a set that's big enough, but I started off like this. I was just going to take the Dremel and drill me a little hole, but them wings ain't big enough. You know what I mean? They don't show from, they look like they look like little Cupid wings. Now, while they're the right type of wings, even the right color too, unfortunately, it ain't the right, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it could work, but then he looked like, you know what I'm saying? Versus, you know what I mean? It's that simple, but I know I had a Hornetoid somewhere around here. It's like a big, gigantic, giant, like hornet thingy. I was just gonna take the wings off of that, paint them green, and put it on this, and then you would have a true super adaptoid. But that's what I got that came in that was new, quote unquote new. This isn't really new. Remember when these first came out, how much they cost? Yeah, I didn't pay that for it. it was low. That's the only reason I got it, because when I saw this, I was like, that's not a need. And now, and when I look at it, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I got it. However, comma, it's all right. You know what I mean? It's got all the points of articulation, so on and so forth. But it's just, maybe when I get the wings and everything on it, it'll look a little more, you know what I'm saying? Livelier. Yeah, because I need some bigger wings. I can't be doing nothing with them little B-Buzz wings. What you say? You bought it after watching my video not too long ago. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad that I influence people's purchasing choices. And I can tell you one thing, if it's ever me influencing your purchasing choices, sir, I'm gonna try to get it. I'm gonna try to find it for you, or show you where I got it on the low. Theo will tell you, it might take me a while to get it to you, but I get them player prices to you eventually. You know what I'm saying? They got a little club here in Alaska called Chill Cool Charlie. And back in the day, their motto used to be, we cheat the other guy and pass the savings on to you. You gotta be a robber baron in this day and age, baby. But also what I was thinking about in terms of photo shooting, I'm thinking about the 3.75-inch tip, because I got quite a few of them too. So maybe it might be time, you know what I'm saying, to get the 3.75-inch flex on, because I'm noticing there's a variety of those, and I feel like them would be something that would be finite. You know what I mean? As far as collecting, this size of figure, you could get a lot more, a lot faster. You know what I mean? Because then you'd accumulate those figures fairly fast. But a vehicle. Well, as y'all can tell, I got one more. I got one more. Two more action figures I want to show y'all, and then I'm gonna move on to these nostalgies. But I got two Mortal Kombat Sub-Zeros. This Sub-Zero, that's what it looks like normally. I don't know if there you can see that. That's what the figure look like normally. But I have the iced out version. So see, this why FUX with Todd McFarlane. You know what I'm saying? Because you take that time to put that detail in it. And even if it ain't, the dopest figure, whatever figure it is, I'm going to take my time and freak them details. And even with a frozen figure, you can see all the detail in that. Now, You might be saying, oh, D-Real, well, that's based on armor. So that's really easy to do. Well, texture and detail. Okay. I'm going to take this comment and then I'm going to show you something about texture and detail here in a second. Theo said, I just had an idea for the wings for the super adaptoid. They're based on Janus wings, right? You know those multicolored page separators we put our notebooks as kids? Some were made out of thin plastic, almost like cellophane. Make them green. Say less. I already know what you're talking about. I got you. I got you. I got you. And it'll be easy to do. And I'll even put the detail in it to make the wings look. I got it. I got it. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's a perfect yes, sir. But back to detail. Okay. Detail doesn't necessarily have to be armor. This is a Mortal Kombat classic, Sub-Zero. The texture of that. You can feel the difference in the texture. It's different texture. You see what I'm saying? It ain't just painted. You know what I mean? The amount of detail, bruh. You're going to take the time to put this kind of detail into a character. That's actual, you know what I mean? That. And that's where we is with action figures. Now, I came across a graphic. Let me see if I still got it. I think I still got it. Let me pull it up. Yeah. Look for that What Would Captain America and what would Captain America do in a situation with BK? Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time. That might be an opinion rather than a fact, but that ain't what we're talking about right now. So let's see if we can stay on topic. Thank you. Y'all been watching the videos. They up. Y'all been watching the videos. So my question to you is right now, Rock With Me Nation, while I'm feeling good and while I'm in a mood to take a list down, give me a list of some matchups y'all would like to see on future action figurines or future action figure Tuesdays. That's a nice picture, by the way. Thank you. I took a little bit of time taking that picture. So y'all let me know. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? What do y'all want to see? I mean, y'all know y'all know a brother got action figures galore. So if it's something y'all want to see put together, you know what I'm saying? Holla at me. I'm gonna probably do some bloodletter images this weekend. So be looking for that. Thor versus Hercules. That's easy. Bronze Tiger versus Daredevil. Okay. That's gonna be ooh. Any given Sunday, bro. Deathstroke versus Black Panther. Deathstroke. Okay. Do we want? Well, you don't know about New 52 Deathstroke, huh? We want traditional Deathstroke or just Deathstroke with the Prometheum armor? In other words, do we want to combine New 52 with Rebirth and the old stuff, or just straight Deathstroke from Teen Titans? But those are some good matchups. Thor and Hercules is a classic. So yeah, that one will be easy. Matter of fact, I'm looking. I got that Marvel Select Thor. I might slide that one out. And I don't know, maybe we should make it Kirby style. Mr. Smith, and we get out the old school Thor and the old school Hercules with the thigh high, whatever the heck you call those that he wore for years. I don't know what those were. Were those sandals? Were those boots? Were they brandles? I don't know what those were, man. They like set thigh high. Let me see if I can find a picture of my pull. Because I'm like, I do not know what the hell those were. Yeah, my man had on. Bam. There we go. This shit right here. Like Hercules. What is this outfit right here? Yep. Give me a second. Yep. No, was going to do that. And then we get the boom, 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 boom. The here we go right here. These. What are those? Sandals, brandles, bandles. I mean, what are those? And that's not proper attire to be walking around Manhattan in. You know what I mean? So come on, Hercules, help me help you, my guy, and put on some clothes. Yeah, so also, I was always kind of curious to see how a fight between Icon and Orion would go. Yeah, that's one. I got a Thanos and a dark side. I want that Diamond Select Thanos though. He's yeah, just for giggles. Yeah, I might get off into it. Here we go. A Nazi pulls up in the building with Vixen versus Storm. You want to see Vixen versus Storm, eh? Okay. Might have to pull some stops out for Vixen, but I got some ideas. Yeah, that is a good one. Okay, so yeah. All right, we laced up. What about Daredevil versus Wildcat in a boxing match? I got the ring. Yeah. Marvel versus Marvel. Yeah. Okay. See, y'all going nuts now. Y'all going nuts with it. And even across IPs, I mean, it ain't got to just be Marvel versus Marvel or Marvel versus DC. You know what I'm saying? I got Shredder. I got Taki from Soul Calibur. Yeah, I got a few, wild proper. And if you can come up with a wild enough matchup, I might be able to kit bash it and put it together. I have a Conan the Barbarian. Who y'all want to see Conan the Barbarian go against? And it's the John Buscema Conan the Barbarian too, where he just got on the loincloth and boots and he just running around with no shirt on. So, yeah, let me see. Conan versus K. No, Conan beat the crap out of Kazar. I'll figure somebody out. Conan fought Wolverine once in a What If, didn't he? Yeah, he sure did. Conan fought Wolverine in a What If and gave him what fur? Till he wasn't. Now, I know that you have been thinking dark and dystopic thoughts. But I am here to tell you, never fear. Rock with me, nation. Long as we got each other, we ain't got to go hungry. We ain't got to starve. The lean times ain't got to be lean. Long as, like I said, it take a village. I know that ain't just true with children. We do some of our best work when we come together and do it on our own. You feel me? I was talking to some of my homeboys today. They talking about some financial ventures that they wouldn't mind diving off into, and it's probably about high time, for me to, jump back into that foray, because I don't work well for people. I don't, man. If I see a way I think something can be done better, and I try it and it gets shot down, not because it didn't work, but because Muggs didn't want me to be the person to come up with the good idea. You know what I'm saying? That's hateration in the highest form. You know what I mean? So yeah, we talking about coming up with something comfortable and lucrative. Them the best kind of businesses. A comfortable, lucrative business. You know what I'm saying? I might even passively, put some money in a dispensary, but you know, it depends on what they doing and where they doing it at. Once upon a time, y'all, there was this Elseworld story. They weren't called the Justice League. They were called the Super 7. Look at that, y'all. An annual. Remember annuals? And look at the condition this baby is in. I take care of my comics. Look like it just fell off the showroom floor, huh? No, this comic is from 1994. This comic book is 31 years old. Doesn't look a day over. Look at that. That's what happened when you take care of your books, y'all. But anyway, this particular book saw a world where the Justice League wasn't the Justice League. You know what I mean? And Lex Luthor had put his brain in Metallo because the aliens done took over, and you know, we know how Lex Luthor feels about aliens. But long story short, it makes it happen. It's a good read. It's a good read. If you get a chance to rock with Superboy Annual number 1, 1994, pick it up. Pick it up. It's worth a read. And I think it's a 2-part story because part 1 is in, I think, when I say Justice League Annual or Adventures of Superman, one of the two. Also, another comic that's a blast from the past, y'all. I know y'all wanted to see this one. And I was talking to somebody about this comic the other day, and they were saying, hey, you remember that superhero called the American Eagle? And he was an Indian superhero, and he wore an Indian outfit. It was offensive. Well, here is my copy of Marvel 2-in-1 Annual. Look, another annual. Number 6. See the condition that's in? I drove it off the showroom floor. Well, there's a flaw. So that ain't mint. Almost close, but I mean, nice flat pages. You know what I'm saying? I takes care of mine, y'all. I takes care of mine. I ain't just pulling out these slippity slidey. Doug Minch was the writer, and Ron Wilson was the artist, and he did in fact give us, what's his name? Jason Strongbow, who eventually is known as the American Eagle. Now, you know, if I'm being honest, I'm less offended by that American Eagle than, say, a Caucasian man in a red, white, and blue uniform calling himself American Eagle. But anyway, Claw makes an appearance in this book, you know what I'm saying? And I always thought, and that's another thing I might want to do with the action figures too. Marvel 2-in-1s, you know what I'm saying? The Marvel 2-in-1 comic. Marvel 2-in-1 featuring Quasar, that John Byrne run, that Project Pegasus run. Oh my goodness, that was fine comic booking. That was mighty fine comic booking. I loved that run. What you say? You got it too? Art by Ron Wilson. Okay. All right. Last one is a double delight. a delightful delight. And you the one made me think about it, Mr. Smith. Avengers next. Number 2. Remember the Avengers of the next generation. And that's the Earth century. Mainframe. Remember Mainframe? And Thunderstrike. And J2, Lil Juggernaut. John Foster, a.k.a. the Earth Century. Now, here's what made me think about it. I'm gonna paint that head and put it on a Jan Rog. And then I'm gonna paint that Jan Rog, and that's gonna be my Earth Century. Yep. Bill Foster's son. Yeah, we wanna preserve comicdom. Do I have any more Marvel 2-in-1 is what Paul Martin asked. As a matter of fact, yeah, I do. I don't have it handy right now, but and you know what else? You know what else I got? I have a Marvel 2-in-1 trade paperback. How about that? And I need to go and dig up my my John Byrne run, the Project Pegasus run. That's where we first saw the original Titania. But y'all didn't know nothing about that. As I told y'all, right. But yeah, I still do got more. Even regardless. I can hit you off with a lot of more. I got a lot of more. I was a Marvel 2-in-1 and Marvel Team Up, the 1972 run that started off with art by Gil Kane. Sometime, you know what I mean? But Gil Kane was the artist on that Marvel Team Up for, I think, like the first 25, like about 25, 26, somewhere around there or so. No, maybe even 30 or so. He did the first 30 or so issues of Marvel Team Up. Because I know who was it? Was it John Buscema that took over for a little while after him? And it was funny because I get how sometimes like the cover art looks different than the interior art, but it shouldn't look way different. You know what I mean? And like with Marvel Team Up, I don't know who was doing the cover art, but the cover art looked way better than the interior art. And I feel like it shouldn't be like that, because isn't the cover art what attracts you to reading the book? And so if the interior art isn't at least the equal or superior to the cover art, then I feel like I got duped. You know what I'm saying? I see this cover and I'm like, oh, that's dope. Oh, the detail. And then I get in the book and it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? So not to say that art's whack, but just as an example, that kind of a thing. You know, the art in the inside should wow me like the cover did. I like Gil Kane on Adam Warlock. I preferred the Jim Starlin. You know what I'm saying? And that version just ended kind of abruptly. You know what I mean? After like 15 issues. What is it with 15 issues with Marvel, where they just like, if you ain't good at the 15 issues, we done with your ass. You know what I'm saying? Only possible exception might have been like Nova. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe they thought that Nova was gonna have longer legs than what it did, and it kind of started fizzling, and they just cut it off after like about 25 issues. But at least they gave Nova like a send-off in Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? Some of them, you know, characters from the 70s and 80s just gone, and you don't see him again for like 20, 30 years. Hey, Adam Warlock. Paul Martin say generally the art was better in Marvel 2-in-1 than in Marvel Team Up, in my opinion. Both dope when Byrne did them, but I think Team Up has some trimpy issues. Yeah. So did Marvel 2-in-1. Because I remember a thing in a Damon Hellstrom issue, and the cover was dope. And then you open it up and Herb Trimpe art. Somebody gonna, oh, nobody go back and tell Herb Trimpe, oh, you said you didn't like my art, you son of a, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't no shade. It's just, it didn't do for me what it should have did. You know what I'm saying? It just was like, well, I forget who to, hang on, I'll tell you. It was yeah, those covers were. Steve Leialoha was the artist. Wow. Steve Leialoha. Yeah, the Strange Tales turned into the Warlock comic. I am right there with you. Invaders, yeah, the initial run on Invaders, that could have been so much better, man. But he was doing the art, and then I think he had like a couple issues of Luke Cage. He did it. Just his, even Captain America and the Falcon. He drew characters like the poses they were in weren't like regular poses. It was like nobody runs like that. Nobody stands like that. If I'm punching you, I'm not jumping in the air and moving sideways. And it just, I don't like the way you draw that. That's drawn insidiously bad. Dreadstar. I have to find that run because I bet that whole run is somewhere. You remember, he running the poses and he's all like this, and I'm like, right around the time he was fighting the Mangler and the Spear. That was like right around, I want to say like 76, 77, somewhere around that time. Yeah, Frank Robbins was all up in the art, and it was just like, I mean, but then Frank Robbins, George Tusker, or at least George Tusker could draw like it looked like they was doing what they was doing. You know what I mean? Instead of the extra, just like look like they frolicking in every picture, like when Frank Robbins do it. So issue 36. Yeah, somewhere around there, somewhere thereabouts. Yeah. Because I remember like in the comics, like in the 70s, they would have what they called the Mighty Marvel checklist. And it have like the comic book and the issue number, and it gives like a little brief description of what was going on in that comic book and who the artist and the writer was. And you could check it off. If you had that comic, yeah, I got that one. I got that one. Oh, I don't got that one. Oh, I don't buy that. I got that one. I got that. So yeah, that was, you was collecting because you wanted to know what was going on with that universe, because it was fresh and it was new. It was really only about 10, 15 years old. I mean, to where to what blew Marvel up to what it was in the 70s, they was only about 15 years old. So it was new and it was fresh compared to, say, DC, that's been around for decades. And so that was the standard, quote unquote. And so during the 70s, and maybe it's just me and I'm tripping, but in the 70s, to me, it seemed like DC was trying to change up their style to stay relevant, to stay cool. Because, like, I guess with Dennis O'Neil, and Neil Adams, them Green Lantern stories, that's kind of when they kind of like, okay, all right, they ain't trippy little hee hee ha ha comics no more. They actually doing like serious stories. You know what I'm saying? But up until that point, it was just, they was getting ran into the ground by Marvel. Still kind of was after that. But because, Spider-Man had that one story where Harry Osborn was on drugs. So it was like, oh, y'all ain't said nothing. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, no, the Harry Osborn story came after the Speedy story. They did it first, but I guess Marvel, in my opinion, did it better. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you had stuff like the Champions and whatever. Black Goliath. What was that, like 5-6 issues? They wrapped that up quick. I think I got all of them. Iron Fist. John Byrne was doing Iron Fist, Marvel Team Up, and X-Men all at the same time. Good work. Paul Martin said, best DC artists of the 70s to me were Neil Adams, Mike Grell, Ross Andru, Jim Aparo, Dylan. First name escapes me, and Rich Buckler. Well, Aparo didn't, but Andrew also drew for Marvel because Ross Andrew did Spider-Man in the early to mid 70s. Buckler, of course, Daredevil, and him and Billy Graham shared art chores on the Panthers Rage, Jungle Action. Mike Grail, I want to say, worked on Master of Kung Fu. And that's it, as far as I know. Neil Adams did Avengers in the 70s. Yeah, Kree Skrull War. That was Neil Adams. So yeah, I like having this artist talk. I like having these conversations. So you folks that know your artists and your comics and all of that. Yeah. Neil Adams. Yeah. Also Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Yeah. He was busy in the 70s. He's the one that made Batman cool again, because Batman was super, super campy from the 50s and the 60s. I mean, but late 60s, early 70s, Batman was starting to be cooler again. The TV show wasn't helping, but Batman was starting to make his way back into cool, because detective comics with the detective stories, the detective kind of edge to it. Good stuff. Before Batman had plot armor. I know that's hard for a lot of you guys to understand or fathom, but there was a time when Batman just took an ass whooping and that was the end of it. Wasn't no, I'm a plan 3 weeks in advance because I saw this ass whooping coming. You just took it. My girl did do Warlord. I did enjoy his Adventures of Skartaris. Yeah, that's why, because when he started doing Legion of Superheroes and everybody just wanted him to keep going, and he was tired of doing Legion of Superheroes, so he was making ugly superheroes on purpose. That's where Tyrock comes from. Maybe if I make the superhero so goofy, so ugly, so offensive, they'll fire me. Didn't work out, did it, Mike? And like, the black dude in the swimsuit is dope. We need to see more of him. I was trying to get fired. That's a funny story if it's true. My girl said I was mad. I'm gonna draw some stuff. I'm turning that in. Okay. And he thinking, yeah, they gonna be like, get out of here for sure. Sales went through the roof. I got that comic too, somewhere around here. Yeah, man. Your boy is sitting on something fat over here, and I'm getting ready to start. I'm getting ready to start pulling up, and you know what I'm saying, parlaying some things from the collection to get some major guap. Because I was fooling around out in the shed, and I saw a couple comics, and I was like, ooh, I have that comic and it's still in fantastic condition. I need to get that bitch slabbed. You know what I mean? I like that. I mean, like 9 point something. Great condition from 70s, 80s, 90s. Well, not so much the 90s. There's some stuff from the 90s because I'm gonna hold on to my Spawn stuff. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna be an old man before I give up my Spawn stuff. Because I got the first 100 issues. So no matter what happens, the first 100 issues of Spawn in there. Why wouldn't they be? You know what I'm saying? So, and that was basically kind of like the genesis of Image right around like the early 90s. So yeah, man, your boy been in and out of comic world. And I think the last thing probably I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna tell you about my comic journey. And then I'm gonna wrap. But just to let y'all know, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no fair weather cat. Y'all know I ain't no fair weather cat. And I've told y'all my story before, but basically just kind of comics. 70, let me see. 73. 73. Yeah, 73, I say. Yeah. I was introduced to the Avengers Marvel team up. I forget what number it is. I want to say 19. Marvel team up number 19, which is Spider-Man and Kazar fighting Stegron the Dinosaur Man. A Tarzan family comic from DC, a Kurt Swan Superman comic book, and the Avengers, I want to say like 112, 113, 112, the Lion God. And it had the Black Panther in it. And that was my first introduction to the Black Panther. I also saw, I think it was like issue 120 through 122, where they were fighting the Zodiac and Black Panther was in that. And I'm like, oh, yo, he's black. They call him Black Panther, and he's actually black. He's a black dude underneath that black stuff. Oh, so he's black. You know what I'm saying? And then I've seen a couple of Luke Cage comments. Oh, he's black. And so, like a lot of kids my age, the quest became to find more black characters. And wasn't successful, but I wasn't unhappy that I wasn't successful. You know what I mean? It's just I got caught up, and then I was introduced to Conan the Barbarian and X-Men and just all kinds of stuff. And some stuff I learned about retroactively, and some stuff I watched it grow and develop. Like in the case of the Black Panther, I learned about the Black Panther retroactively. See what I'm saying? I was introduced to him in Avengers. Then I went back because I kept hearing references to Fantastic Four, and I was able to find Fantastic Four number 52. Fortunately for me, I still have mine. Yes, I still own my Fantastic Four number 52. It ain't pristine, you know what I'm saying? But it's Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four number 52 is intact. It's in one piece. Then from there, you know what I'm saying, I went to Jungle Action and I read Panther's Rage. And then after that, that was when the Jack Kirby run came out. And then it was just nothing. Little bits and pieces here and there. He pop up in Avengers. He pop up in Captain America. He pop up in somebody's book. Pop up in Defenders. You know what I'm saying? There was really nothing consistent. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, man, I'm still looking. Where's T'Challa? Where's T'Challa? There he is in Daredevil. Oh, T'Challa. Where's T'Challa? Where's T'Challa? Oh, there he is over there in Defenders. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you had to deal with it like that, it was like, okay, I gotta, Power Man and Iron Fist. Okay, let's rock with Power Man and Iron Fist. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to get that whole journey. You know what I mean? At the same time, over in DC, I'm still rocking with Legion of Superheroes. I'm still rocking with Justice League of America. I was reading that Karate Kid, little comic book, that they had in the 70s real quick, put it together, and then it was gone. Infinity Incorporated. I was on, as far as with DC, I was on the give me more bang for my buck. Teen Titans. The more superheroes you had in the book for me in DC, the better. It wasn't until afterward I went and read individual books, certain ones. Wonder Woman, I fooled with kind of a little bit. I've always kind of liked Wonder Woman. Don't ask me why. I kind of like just the way some of the stories are written. Green Lantern and Flash. Other than that, wasn't too much. New Gods, you know what I'm saying? It was so much, and a lot of this stuff, like I said, retroactively, after the fact. Commandy, after the fact. OMAC, after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Forever People, after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Didn't get introduced to none of that until, after it had, ran its run and it wasn't nothing no more. And then with the 80s, you saw, I guess for me, the two events of the 80s, as like with everybody else, Crisis on Infinite Earths and Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. And then came the you gotta buy 57 issues to keep up with this story, Mutant Massacre. That was my first taste of why. Why does it gotta be like this? Why do I have to buy all these comics to get this one story? We making money off you, boy. But that was my journey with comics, man. That was my journey, and I've become more discerning over time as far as what I fool with, how much of it I fool with. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Black Panther, say 82-ish for me was as an intro to comics. 87 is when I collected regularly. Oh yeah, I already had I had comics in my rack. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when I was in the Navy, I threw all my sea bag, even through that. You know what I'm saying? The comic books I got at the PX, when I go on leave, I would take them home and put them at my mom's house, and then, you know what I'm saying, and start all over again. Bruh, kept me a collection. I own more DC first. Red Friends Marvel. I think first Marvel I got was the Marvel Triple Action Avengers reprint where they fought the Commissar. That is a reprint of Avengers number 18. Anthony said, I ain't ever got to explain why you like him. I still prefer the man from Atlantis who actually showed up in Marvel Comics. And I believe that was for about 5 issues that we got Mark from Atlantis. So we like what we like. I want to start making Micronauts figure. I want to take Michael. I'm inspired. I seen some pictures, man, of Micronauts made for Marvel Legends. I'm like, they had an Acroyer, a Marionette, had a Commander Rand, had a Bug, a Microtron, and a Biotron. I'm like, bruh, I got to get down for the get down. How can I be down? There's a lot of it is custom heads. You know what I'm saying? Because the bodies ain't gonna be hard to do. I saw that Bug and that Acroyer. And I point blank, man, I asked dude, man, what'd you use? You know what I'm saying? And some of them, they using McFarlane figures. And I'm like, okay, that would make sense you know what I'm saying, to make them look to scale, some bigger than others, some. So yeah, bruh, get ready. We gonna Micronauts is on the list of things to do. He said 73 to 86, then broke college student hotep break. You was a woke brother. Greetings and salutations, black man. To about 91 and 91 to 2001. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you missed some significant stuff, but you also was in the, you said 91. Oh yeah, you was in the midst of a lot of significant stuff, for good and for ill. But yeah, y'all, again, stay ready, stay stocked, stay fed, you know, so you ain't stuck out here when they start all of this phony baloney funny stuff, man. Just you got to be ready for the ready. You know what I mean? You coming to get it, come and get it. But trust and believe me, you coming to get it. If you coming to get it, get it. Look here, y'all. Tomorrow is Friday, and I have a special guest lined up. Me and Theo are going to be vibing with none other than Chef Bombshell. Who? Chef Bombshell. Yes, who is Chef Bombshell? Chef Bombshell is a lady that I know who lives here, right here in Alaska. And she is very vibrant, and she is very outgoing, and she is very funny. And I think you will enjoy her. She is also a staunch cannabis advocate, which she will probably be talking about tomorrow evening. So y'all are going to be like, and she can sing. Ooh, I think I sent y'all Mr. Smith. I think I sent Mr. Smith, and I think I sent, no, it was Kamoyo and you, Theo. I sent the video of her on her TikTok page singing. But she's got a TikTok page, Chef Bombshell. Y'all go over there to TikTok, check her out. She's, has thought-provoking videos, and some of those thought-provoking thoughts she will be sharing with us tomorrow evening, along with a little bit about herself and what she does. And I guarantee you it's going to be a stone cold gas, because every time I see her, she's bubbling and smiling and laughing. And I think y'all are going to enjoy her. Tell a friend, tell 2 or 3 friends, because I think y'all are going to want to be here for this. Also, Blood Letter number 5 comes out this month. And as y'all recall, back in June, Mr. Joseph Illich told us that he would be joining us at the conclusion of Blood Letter to talk turkey. And I wanted to kind of give him a shout out, because I know I mentioned it earlier about the SwatKats Kickstarter. Far as we know, it's the first ever. It's supposed to be, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that for y'all. Bammo, bammo, boom, bomb, bap. And there y'all go. This the hyperlink that I have put in the chat is to the Kickstarter for the first ever SwatKats comic book by Jorge Corona. And yeah, I wouldn't even be bringing it to you if Joseph Illich didn't have nothing to do with it. So that's Jorge Corona, Joseph Illich, the Tremblay brothers, Frank J. Barbieri, and Kevin Rodatelli. Sounds live, y'all. We want it to happen. We most definitely want it to happen. So hopefully by the time we book Mr. Illich, for the next session of talking about Bloodletter, and my custom Bloodletter action figure will be ready. We're gonna kick it. But let's make this Kickstarter happen, because SwatKats was a dope show. I ain't gonna hate. Just I like the idea of it. It was an original idea. And given that a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters have made their comebacks in comics, says the ground is ripe to plant a SwatKats comic and make it happen now. So I'm with it. What about y'all? If not, go on over there to Boomerang on Cartoon Network and watch y'all some old episodes of SwatKats for free and be like, oh, that was a nice little show. I hope they make another one of them junks real soon. Well, they got a comic book coming, so you can be excited for that. So y'all make sure y'all pull up, same real time, same real channel for me and Theo, getting down for the get down, and it's a whole vibe. And just like my man say, roll it up, my homeboy, roll it up already. That's it for now, y'all. But y'all make sure y'all pull up tomorrow. We're going to be vibing. We're going to be kicking it with Miss Bombshell. You're going to be mad as hell if you got to watch it on Review Gang. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but you're going to wish you was there. But that's it for now, y'all. But fret not, I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good. Be good to each other. I'm out.